can I talk about the prospects for diplomacy, Ambassador? It looks likely that Indonesia will allow President Putin to attend G20 in November. Is there anything approaching a diplomatic off-ramp to this crisis and any road to peace talks, or do Mr. Zelensky, President Putin and the West remain deeply polarized?
The Ukrainians are making such striking advances on the battlefield now that it is quite unlikely the Kremlin would be willing to negotiate something that would be acceptable to Ukraine or the West. So this is not really a time for diplomacy. This is a time to see how will developments on the battlefield go.
How does winter, and we know that it can be brutal in that part of the world, how does winter change the calculus, Ambassador, for both sides?
Well, winter can make some activities harder, although ironically, the harder ground in winter can make it easier than in spring or fall in the muddy seasons, can make it harder, easier for heavy vehicles to move. But in general, I think it will be advantageous to defense on balance in the wintertime than to offense. But the Ukrainian advances, the Ukrainian momentum now on the battlefield is so striking that we really can't make much prediction about what would happen in the wintertime.
In the here and now, Ambassador, the four areas that President Putin says he has annexed, right? Two of those four areas are basically where, as you were mentioning, the Ukrainian forces in a counteroffensive are actually making back a heck of a lot of ground. Theoretically, those four annexed areas would account for about 18% of Ukraine's territory. But given the advances or the gains the Ukrainian forces have made, in reality, do you have any idea how much that number may have shrunk right now in terms of percentage of the country that Russian forces or Russia physically controls?
Well, it's shrunk by a couple of percent. But the key issue, again, is because of the momentum on the battlefield, Ukraine could change that percentage quite dramatically. And if Ukraine were to make major advances in Kherson Oblast, not only seizing the capital on the west side of the Dnipro River, which would be a big body blow to Russia, but also to make further progress in Kherson on the east side, then there would be a question of whether the Ukrainian forces would turn to Crimea to take Crimea. And that is an issue that has not yet come to the fore, but may soon.